So, guys, this is my review of the Case Study of Vanitas, episode 6 that dropped today. With that, guys, let's jump right into this review of episode 6. Let's get it. So, episode 6 was titled Questions, and basically, just like in the past episode from episode 4 rolling to episode 5, we just pretty much pick up right where we left off at, where we basically got the backstory of Noé and his past, his younger self, his friends, all of that stuff, and we roll into what happened at the tail end where Noé seemingly was getting ready to give his true name to the shadowy figure here, and that's when Vanitas steps in. But with that happening, Johnny pops in. She's of course there protecting Luca, but they're Noe's kind of still like questioning like why they're there and what they're doing and things of that sort. The shadowy figure is basically pushing out that noise in this scene a little bit, just a little bit further into the scene, but I definitely didn't want to leave that out. But we do get key information on the shadowy figure. One of the shadowy figure's colleagues calls it by a name, and that name is Nania. So literally says, that's enough. Nania, we have to go. Mentioning about the Queen's Fang and stuff like that, right? So Nania just basically said, well, I guess we got to get out of here. And of course, like I said, they do the shrieking sound, which causes cursed bears to run into the room here to attack them, which is basically a distraction so that they can indeed escape. But at the same time, during the scene, which I found very interesting, because Johnny was protecting Luca, as I stated before here in this image, she actually runs after them, carrying Luca in her arms, chasing after them. Which I found very weird. It's just like, well, you're supposed, you're protecting Luca, so why would you take Luca in the direction of danger, right? So that in itself definitely was an interesting spot here. But again, the name drop for the shadowy figure, we get Nania, which was just really great for me, at least, because I'm just like, well, who are you? Again, we don't get. We're still trying to figure out who the actual shadowy figure is. The face behind the mask, basically. So at least we got a name. So that was good on this end of specifically for this scene here. Now, once we get past that scene, Veronica shows up, and she basically, her and Dami have a little bit of a conversation, but Veronica's target is basically Vanitas. Now, Noe's there. He's basically like, trying to protect Vanitas, but either way, Veronica is going after Vanitas because, again, per what we saw in episode 5 and her getting there, she automatically, and that's the thing, other people within the building believe that Vanitas is the reason for the curse bearers marks and stuff like that. So people turning into curse bearers, so automatically pointing the blame towards Vanitas. But Noe, of course, is trying to help. But we get this scene here where this is the little girl that Vanitas had a brief conversation with once they arrived here for this ball thing, right? And this is basically what a curse bearer looks like, fully transformed. We didn't, as far as my memory is concerned, when it pertaining to the curse bearers, we haven't seen a fully turned curse bearer. But of course, it had to be the little girl. It just had to be her instead of an adult. I, of course, don't like this, but it's supposed to be for the shock and awe moment. I understand, but I personally do not like the fact that a little girl, a kid, is the one that has to be the one to be turned into a fully fledged curse bearer. But with that, Vanitas basically tells Noé like, up. And that's the other thing. Like, Vanitas is ruthless, guys. He basically says, there's nothing we can do for this little girl. I have no choice. I have to kill her. And that's basically what he does. And Noé tries to stop him, but he shoots him down with the book, which stuns him basically, and he can't fully react and be able to try to stop Vanitas. And he's trying to call him and tell him to stop and he kept telling Vanitas like, no, don't do it, please don't do it. But he does it anyway. He turns her into ash. This scene, guys, was just like, I like, as good, and that's the thing, as good as the scene was, it's just hard to see this occur, especially, like I said, because she was kid. That's the thing, she was even asking, just like Noé's friend, I can't remember his name off the top of my head at the top of my head at the moment, but just like he was asking him, it was basically the same thing. Like, he was the little girl was asking them to kill her because she didn't want to. Her little sister was lying on the ground. She didn't want to attack her and kill her herself. So it was just like, it just sucked for this whole scene, guys. It just really sucked. As you can see too, she's crying too. It's just like she can't control this full on turn. So she's out on the cusp of being fully. And like, that's the thing. Like, she's like 99% curse bearer. It's just that 1% of her still realizes the predicament that she's in, and she's requesting to be killed. So it's just like, it just sucks, guys. It really does. But yeah, this scene was just, as good as it was just still hard to watch. Now, like I said, Veronica was actually still chasing after Noé, because again, she basically blames, excuse me, not Noé. She's chasing after Vanitas, and Noé is actually here trying to stop her from attacking him. But she's blaming Vanitas for the curse bearers for the people being turned into curse bearers. But she's like turning the room into this ice, as you can see in front of her, using her powers, and she basically is able to get a grasp, like her icicle powers and stuff, was able to get a grasp and a hold of Vanitas to where the ice was climbing up his leg, and to the point where he was getting ready to be fully frozen. She was basically claiming that she was going to kill him. But in the midst of all of that happening, and Noé even trying to stop him, stop her from doing, but he can't. He's getting ready to be the point where Vanitas is getting ready to fully die. She's literally telling him like she's gonna shatter him into pieces once he fully gets frozen. Then a random person pops up. You see with his cane here, he literally like, as with the quickness, right? He slashes, because she was wearing that mask. He slashes her mask in half, and it pops off, and it shows her face. But again, you can't see his face and who this person, because you're questioning who are you, type of thing. But we gained that information just seconds after this occurs. Well, technically, roughly 45 to roughly a minute into this scene happening for this episode. And that specific person is Lord Ruthens, or I believe that's how you pronounce it, Ruthens, or I believe so. So Ruthens pops up. He halts everything. He basically was saying like he was on his way, because Veronica was saying, nice of you to show up kind of late to the party, but he was just basically saying that he ended up running into some of the curse bearers on his way there. His carriage got attacked, and it took him a little bit longer to find a new one so that he could still get here. So he stops everything, halts everything, and basically he's trying to also figure out, the cause and the reason, the rhyme for everything that's going on here, literally with everything. And he basically is questioning Vanitas and trying to figure out what's going on. He even says like, are you the person that turned the little girl into ash, like I mentioned before? And Vanitas pretty much was just like not denying it at all. He was like, that's me who did it. But Noé steps in, because it seemed like Ruthen was getting ready to do something to Vanitas, but no, he stops and he's basically like, hey, don't touch him. You need to listen to what we have to say. There's a reason why everything's going on in this moment in time, and it's not because of Vanitas, it's not because of me. You need to listen to what we have to say so you can gain a better understanding. But again, but that's the thing. Like Ruthen, he pretty much was very understanding. He was just saying like, this is who I am, and I serve the majesty or queen. I'm a part of the Senate and everything. So it's all good. I just needed to gain a better understanding of what's going on, and everything's cool. He even melted the ice that was around everybody and everything. Luca pops up. He says, Lord, he calls him uncle and everything. It was just like one of those things where it was, oh, okay. I didn't know what was going to happen in the scene. I literally thought that he was going to come in and kind of do the same thing that Veronica was doing, but literally like take charge of the situation and cause more problems for Vanitas and Noé, but that didn't occur. He was just like, cool, great, that's all I needed to know. Y'all are cool in my book and we can move on with life, but I need to, but at the same time he was basically saying I need to kind of like take y'all with me so that y'all can rest up. So but again, that just like I said, I was kind of thrown off by this scene at the same time with his interest, but at the same time I was thrown off by how cool he was with everything that occurred. But again, I'll take it because I don't want anything bad to happen to Vanitas or Noé or anybody else, So all in all, great entrance for Ruthen's, great scene, period. I really, really enjoyed it. And so we get towards the end of the episode here, but there was another scene prior to this where it was between Noé and his teacher, but it seemed like he was in like dreaming, but he it seemed like he was talking about either Vanitas or Louis, and I apologize for forgetting Louis' name since last week's episode 5. But he was just basically saying to his teacher, like, I put my hopes and dreams on him, and really believed in him and stuff like that. This is what he was telling to his teacher. But his teacher basically responded and was saying, I didn't want you to do what you currently did. I just wanted you to no, he was talking about Vanitas, because he says like his teacher basically tells him like, I just wanted you, I didn't want you to like go after the book. I just wanted you to encounter the many people and persons while in traveling with him with the book. That's basically what his teacher was talking about. So he was indeed talking about Vanitas in this like dream of his with him and his teacher. But this specific scene here, like I said, it's basically towards the end, and actually Ruthen is actually watching this from his, I want to say, his office. They're standing like at the top of a bell tower. So the bell ends up ringing during this conversation. But basically, what happens is they get into an argument because Noé believes that Vanitas is upset about something. So they end up conversating about what he said in episode 5, what Vanitas said was talking about, like, I'm doing this in vengeance and stuff like that. And Vanitas' response is saying, like, I lied. I told a lie because I needed to say something just to get everybody's attention, help them believe something specific to get the best reaction out of them. But no, he just didn't. He just wasn't trying to accept that. He still believed that, which I kind of agree with Noé. I believe that Vanitas still, there's something in the back of his mind that he's still holding on to, and it has to be, it more than likely must pertain to the original Vanitas who gave him the book, or maybe he took it off of him or something, but Noé was basically saying, like, I still believe that you're holding some type of grudge, but at the same time during this conversation, this is why he's holding a knife towards his neck, is that he's just saying that I can't go along with your shenanigans basically anymore. I just can't do it anymore. It's just getting too much. I can't follow you, And like even Vanitas, even prior to him saying that, Vanitas was saying like, I don't need you to be around me anymore, to on this journey. I don't need you. But no, he's like, well, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, they were going back and forth. They were having this huge argument, which then ended up to the point where it was like they were breaking up as such great friends, but they eventually kind of like forgave each other and just said screw it. But you know, because Noé was basically saying, you know, but even though I disagree with a lot of the things that you've done, and it seems like, you know, you're holding stuff back from me, you still intrigue me. There's something about you that still intrigues me, and so I'm still gonna be by your side. So it was like just one of those things where, because you're really good friends with somebody, I get it. You know, y'all get into this argument, and you know, y'all may need to go about your ways for a few days and then come back and have a sorry conversation, because you know that you, and it's crazy that the type of bond that they have, they've only known each other for so long, but it's like the bond that they have seems like it's been an endless bond, like, but it's not even that, because they have only known each other for maybe roughly like 72 hours, like, but they still want to be around each other and go on this journey. You know, that's what Noé was just saying, like, you know, I still want to basically do this and help you along the way. So, you know, it was just one of those interesting things that occurred in this scene that was definitely a little bit eye-opening for me. But all in all, guys, episode 6 was really good. I did enjoy the fact that we got the name, at least a name for the shadowy figure, and you know, it was just an all-out, just fun episode. And I did enjoy Ruthen's entrance into this episode, so we're more than likely going to see more of him in episode 7 to come next week. But what did you all think of episode 6? Call questions of the case study of Vanitas. Leave some comments in the comment section below, guys. Let's talk about some things if you feel up to it. But other than that, I will talk to you all next time with more the case study of Vanitas. Peace, guys.